just for the record, name and title.
Tom Neal, Neal, Alderperson, District 4.
Okay, so you guys kind of made a bit of a change this evening in that the committee's going to have a new name. So what is that new name, and how did it kind of come to be?
Sure. Well, it's proposed new name. I mean, we've chosen what we want to be called, and we'll have to go through a council approval, which I think will happen. But when the committee was first formed, it needed a name legally just to be accepted as a mayor's committee. So it was the Mayor's Welcoming and Inclusivity Committee. Maybe it doesn't roll off the tongue all that well. But back at that time, I mentioned in council chambers that when the group finally gets together, that we would have, the ability to give it a name of our own, something that resonated with us, that seemed to match our vision, for what we want to accomplish, and says something to the people. So we've proposed a new name, and it's Wider Wausau. Wider is the acronym that we're using that covers basically our mission statement, if you will. Because we want, Wausau wants to be something, right? And what Wausau wants to be in this context is welcoming, inclusive, diverse, engaged, and respectful. Wider. It also has a feeling of, open arms, a wider welcome, wider smiles, wider doors, So we just feel it's a positive, progressive sounding name, something that does roll off the tongue a lot better than the original name. So we hope this goes through council without a hitch, and there you go.
So did this kind of get discussed at your last meeting or in between meetings, or?
It was discussed at our last meeting and kind of an after meeting and that sort of thing. So it's had a couple of discussions leading up to tonight.
Okay. So do you know then when it would go before the council at all?
Not this upcoming council meeting because we're too close to it. But the following one should be fine.
Okay. And then I guess the only other thing that really happened tonight is you talked a little bit about having a diversity training going forward for kind of the city. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what you discussed tonight in regards to that?
We're looking at working with a group to provide consistent, formalized training that would be applied to city government staff as well as elected officials. So city council also would be able to go through this program, whether it's in person or through webinars or a variety of presentations to cover a variety of issues. I expect it is going to be a pretty varied program, but there's a lot of things to cover. But the main thing is to say we're going to do this, and it's going to be consistent, and everybody's going to have that opportunity to be part of it.
So is the next step then for that with the committee looking at different types of inclusivity training, or kind of what's the next step there?
The mayor's office is spearheading, looking at possible providers of that service, and I think we're zeroing in on one. The committee here would have the opportunity to look at, what is that program going to look like? What are they offering? How are they going to present it? And to have our input that might affect how that program is utilized.
Anything else you think people need to know?
I think that's about it for tonight.